NIL, Josh. I mean, we've talked about this, man, for, since it was released out of the box with no guardrails. Well, now new NCAA president, Charlie Baker, said they want to try and get some federal regulation for it because they shouldn't have let it out of the box with no guardrails. But we've had people who do make federal regulations on from one end to the other, and they say it's basically impossible because of the antitrust lawsuits on the back end. Is there any way to rein in NIL at this point, or is just the monster out going to rip villagers apart until the end of time?
Well, I don't even think it's as bad as people say it is. And I know that it's very popular, especially in our space, to just go on air and wave an alarm bell in the air, and it's like a dog whistle. People do it in the political world all the time, and it works in the sports media world too. It's not really as catastrophic as people make it seem. So that's the first thing. That's just my personal perspective. Having said that, though, as bad as it is, relatively speaking, no, there's not much that can be done outside of the whole federal legislation parachute, which is never really a parachute. And also, I think the other thing is what I've started to see is a little bit of kind of self-regulation. There is not a bottomless supply of money, contrary to popular belief. Programs don't have blank checks. It's always kind of popular to say that, but it's not really true. Like even I was down at Miami this week, even the Miamis of the world, even the ones who are backed by billionaires, they are not actually backed by someone who just says, go spend my money as much as you need to. That's really not the way that works. So what's happening, and this is a good thing, is the market itself is figuring out we need to understand allocation of resources. This is the kind of thing that normal adults have to do every day of their lives. We need to figure out allocation of resources. And what they're figuring out is less and less money in that overall budget of NIL per se is going to go towards unproven high school talent, to where you eventually calibrate it to be about 10 to 15% of your overall budget. And the vast majority of that NIL money is going to keeping players. And if we hit the rewind button just a little bit and we go back to last November, I go on my show and I repeat what coaches are telling me, and that is NIL is about to be wild. The transfer portal is about to just be turned inside out this upcoming winter. Well, it wasn't. There was some activity, but it wasn't turned inside out. And the reason was because a lot of those collectives got their you-know-what in gear, and they kept their best players at home because that's where they allocated their financial resources. And really what that sounds like to me is the way it should work the entire time, instead of just paying like $800,000 to an unproven high school linebacker just because you can. Translation, if you want the 30-second version, I think it's going to work itself out okay. And I actually think we may be getting to a point right now where you had the earthquake like 2 years ago. Okay, then there's the delayed ripple effect. And by the time the ripple effect, or as you would call it, a tsunami, actually gets to the beach of college football, half the folks on the beach are saying, hold on, don't sound the alarm. We actually are trying to figure it out ourselves, and we've got a little bit of a head start. We don't need you coming in here and doing anything. And then there's the other crowd that still thinks they need federal legislation. I'm not in that crowd anymore, whereas I used to be. So that's where we are. It's a spaghetti mess or a spaghetti plot. It sounds kind of convoluted. I don't think that we're going to fall off a cliff because of NIL.
You don't have to make your own skincare, all right? And what's the biggest summer secret to great-looking, glower summer complexion? It's having great skincare products from our friends at Genucel. Sun, humid, dehydrated skin, covered in dark spots, and even puffier bags under the eyes. It's a problem for all of us. Everybody's got their own little thing, all right? Genucel's beautifully curated Summer Essentials package is a limited edition package that includes their one-of-a-kind Ultra Retinol Super Moisturizer. Their Ultra Retinol is a powerful plant extract alternative to retinol without the harsh side effects, and is perfectly safe to use in that summer sun. Men or women, doesn't matter, all right? You want great skin regardless. Plus, you'll get Genucel's classic skincare therapy for under eye bags and puffiness, and concentrated vitamin C serum to nourish your skin for a visibly clear complexion with a glow that will get you compliments everywhere. I love the dark spot corrector for all the time I spent outside in the summer like we did yesterday. Was outside with the animals grilling up a storm. Shout out to all the red snapper fish out there, best eating fish. I'll die on that hill. Go to Genucel.com. That's GENUCEL.com/booster right now to get your Genucel Summer Essentials package. We've had a ton of people in the Booster Club that have gotten it, said they absolutely love it. And just in time for the summer, every subscription order includes a customized summer spa gift box, absolutely free. That's Genucel.com/booster. Genucel.com/booster. Do it now because you've got skin in the game. Yeah, and I think when people speak in generalizations, NIL is either awful or NIL is the greatest thing of all time. They're both wrong because, in my opinion, I think players should get paid for their name, image, and likeness. Where I think the problem got created was if Bryce Young wants to do a deal with Dr. Pepper, then that should be between Bryce Young and Dr. Pepper. All we did was replace the middleman. We took out the NCAA and added the institution. But to where I think you get the most bang for your buck in NIL is retaining players, number one, mostly because they know the system, they know the way it works, they know where the classes are. But number two is in the transfer portal because it's true free agency. You have a proven commodity. I know a lot more about a player that has played in college football, especially in the same division or the same level as my team, as opposed to a high school kid that you're projecting. It's like free agency in the NFL compared to the NFL draft. You know a hell of a lot more about the player coming over from the Bills than you do about the player coming out of Buffalo, the college. So I think people that speak in end of the spectrum talk, it's the worst thing ever, it's the greatest thing ever, you're really just wasting your time. Hey, YouTube, thanks for checking us out. If you didn't know, we do a live sports show the way you like it, where it's mainly about sports and common sense, from 6:30 to 8 a.m. Central, that's 7:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern. Come join us. We take live calls Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We have a live chat, aka the Booster Club or the Trust Tree, where you can come under the wing and into our hearts. So make sure you subscribe, turn that notification bell on, and hit that like button. We really appreciate it.